Roger, clear. Come on, we're down 4 feet above. 3, 2 feet above, 1 foot, 6 inches.
And I'll get a 2 full. Roger that, we'll keep it safe for now.
Roger.
Actually, we're on manual, I'm gonna arm it.
All right, 100% matched.
Same as last time, I'll go to about 100 feet, 60 knots. Yeah, good idea.
South mode first term is off. Aces, armed, and manual. 900 pounds of fuel. Cabin air skirts, full complete, and back in the range.
Roger that.
I'll also be shooting some stills from up here too.
Roger that. Yeah, just let us know what you need.
Busy guy. And turning left.
There.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I imagine it saves you cash.
Start your climb if you want. Go more time around. Start my climb. Hey, Murph, you know exactly where that MiG is, eh?
I don't know the grid reference, but definitely, like Captain O'Reilly said, on the southwest side there, there's a small town, and then there's mountains to the south of it, to the south of it as well. Can't miss it.
You're clear.
Just get us in the general direction, we'll be able to find it.
Roger that. What's your camera capability there? You got wide end telephoto, or you're better with
all sorts of telephoto?
Better with and good wide too?
And pretty decent wide, yeah.
You can get a good wide of that from that height there?
I got the entire camp right now in field.
Excellent, okay, good.
Field.
Very beginning of the tour here, if you can, please.
Well, the crew here is actually the first crew that came over into Kosovo, first Canadian crew, and quite a bit to see. Pretty much an overload of the senses when you come across the border. Not so much to the south of Kosovo, but more from about the area of Mirosevac north. A lot of fires, a lot of burning going on, created by the belligerents, Serbian, Albanian, both on the ground. Approaching Pristina, there was a lot of, you can see a lot of the damage from the NATO bombing, and it wasn't as extensive as you would expect, which we're going to see in a few minutes. However, it was quite precise, and like I said, a lot to digest in the first couple hours of
wires coming from the right.
Roger. In terms of the overall flying, I mean, we've done a lot of, we've worked with the British quite closely. We do a lot of reconnaissance and surveillance in the MNB Central here. Surveillance from the air, a lot of policing. We were around, KFOR was around quite a few months before the local police, unmixed police were established in the country. Therefore, we provided the services from the air, the policing services from the air, surveillance both day and night. Some of the things that we don't do in Canada, some of the night activity was quite intrusive, if you will. We covered the night skies pretty much throughout the evening, and we used our night sun quite extensively, which we haven't done in Canada that much. We don't have the domestic problems. Of course, in our own country, we've never had like they had here following the war.
Just coming up in the gully on the left-hand side, on the right-hand side.
Roger.
Be in this gully, taller trees. I think I got to go a little further.
Sure it's here? I thought it was more over by the mountains there.
Whereabouts?
Over to our 9 o'clock-ish, 8 o'clock. That's where I thought.
Over to the right?
Yeah, this is not familiar.
Okay.
No, not right, sorry, left.
Coming left.
Tier 9. Out by the, I can't see now.
For the guys was pretty steep. Throughout the, especially the first 2 or 3 months, the guys became pretty keen on the environment here in terms of the hot weather, the limitations of the aircraft in extreme hot weather, the number of wires in the country here. Pretty much all of the power, the whole power grid in the country is above ground rather than underground or buried. We did a lot of low-level flying due to the demonstrated threat just following the war, which posed quite a hazard to helicopter operations.
Oh man,
This looks like the spot.
Okay, where are you looking?
It's coming in the gully at 12 o'clock. So it used to be at 1 o'clock.
should be over here. Yeah, right. Okay. Clear
And
the door.
turning all right.
Clear the door.
Right.
There it is.
Right. And door's coming out. Okay. So all turns line.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff we're looking for.
Okay, and then you're going to see the MiG. MiG is going to open up over here on your left-hand side.
I'll slow down a bit more.
Roger.
Left. There it is at your 10 o'clock.
That's the wreckage right down there.
Okay,
Still recognizable.
Yes.
you can just take it straight out to dog route if you would,
Okay,
please.
we'll close the doors up again.
Roger, we got 55 knots right next to that. Just to continue the dialogue from before. So reconnaissance and surveillance was the type of mission that we were doing in theater. The helicopters were great for it here in Kosovo because, as you can imagine, a lot of the infrastructure, the roads, and the movement by ground was impeded due to anything from the NATO bombing with the bridges that were blown to roadblocks to traffic jams and all sorts of things. So helicopters, as in other parts of the world, were quite extensively used and still are in Kosovo. There are civilian helicopters in Kosovo as well, working for the United Nations World Food Program and other non-governmental organizations. But as far as we're concerned, we moved 4 times in theater, including the initial stop or stay over in Greece. We went into Thessaloniki, Greece first, spent a few days there putting the aircraft together on the docks. And from there we moved up to Prilep, Macedonia, which wasn't a bad place. It was an old army barracks and we stayed there. The initial plan was to stay for about 30 days, but with the progress of negotiations and other things, we moved forward and started doing missions within a few days of actually arriving in Macedonia. At that time, we thought it prudent that we move the unit, or at least part of the unit, the fighting force of the unit, the helicopters, the crews, and certain maintenance folks and other support personnel to the airport, the international airport in Skopje. So that was just a very short hop, about 15 minutes into Kosovo. We spent about 2 weeks there. Following that, we found a location in Kosovo. We moved the entire unit from the main operating base, the forward operating base, located in Prilep, Macedonia, and the Skopje airport, to the current location in Donja Karadzic, here in Kosovo.
Pardon the interruption, but just back there on my 7 o'clock there was a fairly good impact crater. Is that correct?
Okay.
Turning left?
Yes, please.
Okay. You want the door open?
Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah. Would you like the door open?
Yeah, no, we'll get you a good shot of that. That's the radio tower, 600 feet. Now it's about 600 feet. It's about 2 feet. Coming up at 11 o'clock. We're still 90 knots.
Right.
Slowly. And you can include the crater out at 12:30, please.
Right.
The left-hand turn.
Brief description of it?
And clear the door once below 80.
Yeah, below 80 or
Below 80, clear the door. Yeah, the area off to the left-hand side is one of the local transmitter sites in the area next to Donja Karadzic. Cormorane is just off to the south. and that suffered a direct hit from a NATO bomb or bombs, multiple hits. The tower was 650 feet, no longer. And of course, the transmitter and the site is out of business.
In a pretty significant way.
Oh yeah. Is that a good altitude for you?
Excellent. Just one more shot of that crater and that's good. Oh, look at this.
NATO knocked. And now nobody's home.
Now you can see what I mean by stimulus. Hard to get your head around stuff like that.
No, you kind of have to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I interrupted you with the radio tower there.
I don't even know where I was at now.
I think, okay, we've done the hop from Scovey.
Oh yeah, okay, no worries. Sorry, thanks a lot. Yeah, this is Donny Car Teacher where we're at right now, and it was the initial site of the Kosovo Rotary Aviation Unit. That's our unit. Roughly 170 people, actually 169 personnel, security folks, formerly military police in Canada. All military regular and reserve force. Within a month, it was such a good location and a great site for operations within Kosovo. He moved in slowly. Okay, we'll cut it off there. If you want to slow her down.
I'll go to the far site, maybe.
Okay, out on the left-hand side now. There's 3 sites, actually. We'll just fly by the first 2 and then do the orbit on the third
No,
one.
wait for the door. We gotta wait till we're
Blow it in.
There you go. Okay. Give her.
Oh, yes. What do we have here?
We'll fly by 3 of these, actually. We think that they were fertilizer plants. These are the fertilizer plants, and some of the, we don't know exactly what they were used for, but some say that the fertilizer might be used for explosives, and also the area was used for sort of a small barrack area for the Serbian army. So the bombs served 2 purposes. Okay, once over the next spot with 1 orbit around.
Roger.
What we're going to do is go to the right-hand side of the next spot. We're going to orbit straight over top of it.
Okay,
You can get a shot into the crater.
Sounds good.
Okay, clear left. Turning left. The nose forward.
Roger.
You just got to keep the nose way forward, otherwise you get vortices. The vortex problem there. That's it.
That'll do the trick.
20 to 40.
That good?
That's good.
Okay.
That's good.
Down the way there. Yeah, this aircraft is really, really sensitive with the... I already had it with... Stephen and I had the vortex ring seat business.
Oh, you're gonna bring it above 80, are you?
Yeah.
So what do we have here?
Okay, this is actually an ammunition site coming up.
We'll be turning right to follow up.
And what we're going to do is take you parallel to the ammunition site. And all of these bunkers were ammunition. And they suffered direct hits, NATO hits during the war.
Oh, yes. Goodness sakes.
And turning left.
You're clear. Heads in.
My head's out.
Once again, pretty impressive.
1400. Yeah, we'll do it at 1400. No, we'll just wait out probably for an hour and a half, something like that. I'm just going to wait talking to Niner Delta right now.
The experience you've picked up here is going to be so beneficial back home. You can't even measure this, can you?
Oh yeah, well these guys I'm the flight commander here with the guys, and there is only one flight of aircrew. And these guys will never see anything like this again in their careers, most likely.
So what, if there's been any, has there been really any interesting or exciting moments for you guys here?
Oh yeah. There's been a couple of exciting moments besides the wire strikes we had. We were actually engaged with small arms fire at one point. We had one of the crews re-engage. Stand by. On the request right away for you there.
Yeah.
What was he talking about?
Exciting moments.
Oh yeah, well the guys actually, they were engaged by small arms fire, just a rifle. We'll talk more about it in a second. Just off to the left-hand side here. If you want to slow it right down, please.
Okay, think you'll have enough light to see that, or?
Yeah, okay, we can always do this tomorrow, Mage.
Yeah, okay. What did you want to see right now with the amount of light you got?
I think just pristine at this point here. I mean, we got the VJ barracks.
Okay, there's the barracks off to the left side. You want to just spin once around that?
Sure, turning left.
Slow her down below 80 knots there. We'll crack the door in case you want to get some shots.
Yes, please.
Okay, you're below 80, you clear the door.
Okay. So obviously this took a bit of a hit.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And this is the first place that we flew into, actually, coming into Kosovo. The first mission was here to the 4 Brigade headquarters, which was located just below us right now. And it was in an open field. None of this was here. None of this new construction was here. You get the wires off to the right
I
side.
got them. Turning left.
Roger that. You're clear.
Apparently,
And our Canadian Armored Squadron, the LDSH guys, actually were parked in here, this parade square on the left-hand side, for about almost 5 months, I guess, 4.5 months, before they moved in with us.
Climb and turning right.
Clearing.
that's perfect. That's perfect. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. This looks good.
Wow, what's that?
Okay, so 1300 is tomorrow.
1300 for tomorrow?
Yep.
Okay.
Stand by. Okay, so you're done. You're good to go for 1300 tomorrow.
Excellent.
Okay. So, why don't we just spin around Pristina once, and we'll we'll take you up to the area Glogovac land. Be about 15 minutes from now for landing, and then we'll take you up for as long as you want for tomorrow.
Sounds good, gentlemen. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, that Marshal Tito Barracks back there was obviously, you can see, it was hit a whole whack of times by NATO. And that was one of the first air spots that we flew to in Kosovo, and just the magnitude of the bombing and the precision, actually, of the bombing in that particular area was quite startling and hard to comprehend for most people. Everybody I know, anyway. So going back there.
Hey, man, did you see the mass graves that are in, or the graves that are in there now? On the left.
Where?
Over on the left. They weren't there before.
Oh yeah, in the cemetery there.
Yeah.
Yeah, going back there, you always see something new because there's so much to the senses there. It's hard to get a grip on everything that happened around that particular area. I got a map of the satellite map of that whole sector of the city before the bombing, and it was actually quite a beautiful area of town.
You mean right around the barracks?
Yep, around the barracks and that part of town. Yeah, it was just really, really nice. But the barrack area was beautiful, all gardens and grass and pristine type parking lots and fountains and things like that.
Gee, just like Curry Barracks.
Oh, just like Curry Barracks, yeah, just like it. Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed though just how accurate the bombing was, because there's very little craters anywhere or very little hits anywhere else, is there?
There's a UCK headquarters down below us. See that black roof? Big, huge building.
All right.
Yeah, it's the Monster House. That's where all the heads of sheds hang out, high-ranking monkey mucks.
KLA, UCK.
Yeah, KBC, the former UCK. But we've done quite a bit of work over Pristina since we've been in theater. We spent the first month with the 1st Parachute Battalion, and I don't know how familiar you are with their work, but you know, they're sort of like the pit bulls of the British Army. Whenever you need a tough
Quite
job,
familiar.
whenever you need a tough job done, they use them first, and that's exactly what they did. Pristina was quite a ghost town after the war, as you can imagine, because of all the activity and the fear. And they came in and turned it all around with 1 battalion, 3 companies throughout the city here, and we were part of that in terms of we provided all their aerial surveillance, a lot of their quick reaction around town to incidents, and they used to sit in the helicopter and command operations on the ground from the helo, which was quite exciting stuff for us, made all the difference, made it seem that we were being used quite well, and we were used magnificently the first few months in particular by that battalion. This is KFOR headquarters off to the left-hand side right now. You can see the helipad just coming up on the nose here, and that's where the commander of KFOR resides and his staff, along with some of the senior officials for UNMI. Okay, let's head back. All right, let's look at the...
All right, like I said, the highway on the left is Dog Route, I believe, and it starts off, we were doing an overwatch over top of Kosovo, myself, and we were given a sit rep over top of the area we were surveilling, looking for a vehicle. A gentleman had taken a grenade and tossed it through a window of a bar in Kosovo. We just happened to see this vehicle come out of Kosovo, went through one of the roadblocks, didn't even get stopped, and it matched the description of the vehicle. So we proceeded to, we followed him, we put the night sun on him, hoping he'd slow down. Well, he didn't, he sped up, and he hit as fast as his car could go, and we were keeping up with him 100 knots, airspeed, indicated airspeed, and he eluded us, unfortunately, in Pristina. He got inside Pristina, and he got underneath one of the underground car parks. And it was just like a movie shot out of the movie Bullet, just like that. It was exactly like that. He was screaming down the highway. We were chasing him with the chopper, had the night sun on him. If we could have stopped him, we would have, but unfortunately there's too many wires down the highway. Heads up. And basically, again, it was an overwatch at night, so we're on goggles, and we had the night sun. And we were tasked again to find a vehicle. So they gave us this vehicle description, and we thought we saw it. So we followed the car. We didn't turn the night sun on yet. He didn't even know we were there because we're all blacked out. We pulled up beside the vehicle. We were about 50 feet above. Turned the night sun on him. We hit him with the light. He slowed down. Turned the night sun back up. Well, he turned all his lights off because he assumed that if we didn't have our light on, we couldn't see him. So we followed him a little bit with just our goggles, and we wanted to see if he was going to go to a particular building. He pulled off to this one side, just sat there thinking that we're not around anymore. So we said, heck with it. So we settled out in front of him. I put the night sun right on his windscreen and turned it to a pencil so that it illuminated the whole inside of his car until the Brit guys showed up, and then they took him out and they frisked him. And it wasn't the guy, but because he was close to being with the guys that were mafia or close to being mafia, I guess he told them about this chopper that followed him. So for the next 2 weeks, I guess the crime rate just dropped because they thought, well, obviously the chopper's out there all the time. So it has an effect, even though the actual incident might not have produced anything, it does overall. And,
it does. There's a big barrier there that's been broken.
Oh, definitely. So I guess for the next couple...
C6.
I'm sorry, say again?
We had the engagement from the fella on the ground. There was a sniper on the ground, and one of the members of the crew called out that they were getting fired at. And the aircraft commander gave permission to the mission specialist to engage the target. And actually what they were doing was they were assisting some ground forces at the time, trying to find this sniper that was taking pot shots at helicopters and NATO troops for the last 48 hours. So that's exactly what they were doing, and they actually found the guy with the helicopter. And it's like finding a needle in a haystack, but they came upon him on a ridge, and they pinned him down, and in retaliation, he fired at the helicopter, at which time the guys opened up defensive fire over his head and forced him to the ground. They cut their fire just as the troops came up and made an arrest on the individual. So quite exciting stuff. A lot of potential there for for a disaster one way or the other.
Two full complete ace of safe, Kevin.
Kevin Ayers gear.
But worked out pretty well. That sort of set the pace for the support for the guys here, for the rest of the brigade.
So Buddy was quite lucky that he escaped with his life.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was 20 to 40 rounds let go from the C6.
I mean, you could have C6 side mount, eh?
Yes, and it could go on either side of the aircraft.
Or the door at your discretion.
Roger, right-hand door's coming open. Engineer's position.
Roger that. I'm going to go way around this cart here. Looks like that puppy is still in the fence. I'll talk to the chief when I get down. Okay, rolling out on final now.
We got civilian personnel trying to climb over top our barrier over here on the right. You want to come back around again,
That's Marcel.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
That's Marcel.
We should call the cops to go. You're approaching the barrier.
Want to put the night sun on them?
30 feet, yes, I'd love to. 30 feet above the obstacles. And we got an aircraft turning out. On our right.
We got the night sun on?
Yes, we do.
Overshooting.
Raj, and clear to turn the night sun on.
Yeah, clear.
Do you mind if I do it?
Go ahead. I can do it, sure.
Oh, this should be.
And I got the door open still, mate.
This should
Roger,
be good.
we'll maintain below 80 knots.
Raj, and you should have traffic off to your 8 o'clock now.
Takes a while to warm up, I guess.
Yeah. You know how to use it, eh?
If anything goes on with that horse, just let me know. I'll take off.
Raj.
And you're clear to turn right?
And you're clear right.
I'm right behind you here. I want to get a shot of this.
Raj.
Play 80%.
Don't put it down too low. There's a horse there. Get it up, get it up.
The horse is fine.
Okay, it's a good thing.
How many candle power is that puppy?
We're looking at almost 10 million.
Okay. And I'll turn it off.
Coming down.
Roger, good below.
I got one in the arming area.
Roger. See? And when you turn it off, just turn it back on, but don't hit the button to turn the light on. So you can cool it. And can you swivel it forward, please?
Swivel it forward.
Roger. And confirm ace is safe?
Ace is safe.
Roger. Good call. And cooling
5.
Sorry, how many missions is that?
It's 1,520 and change and 2,600 hours control.
Control. Engineers out on the right.
Okay.
And refuel hold.